Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Somebody answer that damn phone.
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this podcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday, March 5th, 14th, 2025. Where has the time gone? Where are we at? Where's Disclosure? What happened to buckle up? What happened to buckle in? My friends, it's more like strap on, strap in, but we're going to have some fun talking about it anyway, folks, because, you know, Disclosure's just about that. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of things said, but there's not a lot of things that go on these days. They're called Disclosure talking about. But you know what? Either way, I'll go ahead really quickly and thank our audience for a couple super chats that came in when we're getting this show going. First one came in. I missed that one, but I have one from Anne Marie. Thank you very much for $99 Australian. And there was another one that came in. Oh, show it. Participants, anyone I want to thank. Anyway, there was another super chat came in earlier for $6.99 from Gizmo in Canada, our dear friends up on that matter. Let me go ahead and pop this down, and let me go ahead and get the drums going, and let's welcome in the audience. Friends, where are those drums? I've missed them one. All right, let's see who in the heck we have in the audience today, my friends. Bring it up and take a look, and, well, let's welcome in Anne-Marie. Anonymous Rex is here all the way from Oregon. We've got Anthony Mueller, Anton Ghost. Charles Joe Garrison is in the audience along with the Charles Kerr. Charles Kerr is in the audience. How about that? You guys should very, very pleased. Craig Smith is here along with Dana Scully. We've got Davis Dean. Firefly is here along with Geraldine Dorazio. Gizmo's here along with Gray Jedi. We got Gringo Suave in the audience along with the Howling Husky. Yeah, she's also have one. Let's welcome in Jan, J-Cat, John Loop, John Mooner, Johnny UFO, Julie Boyce, and Kelly Broten. Those blue eyes. Good to see you, Kelly. We've got Lasso here, not Laszlo, but Lasso. How about that? Also known as LS. We got Liz W, Maritime Unprepared. Mick Mix here along with Ms. Cussout and Nancy Kuzmano. Would you look at that? Well, Mr. Neil Carr has been found, and he's back in our audience. Welcome back, Neil. Long time no see. We got Neil Morgan. Niles guy is here. Oh, yeah. Watch out for him, our Pitbull. Let's welcome in Omar here, and Peter, and Roland, and Sam, and Shelly Montgomery. Long time no see, Shelly in the back. Good to see you, my dear lady. Stephen Forbes is here along with the Super Unknown Man, the Chromosome Cowboy. Tom Clark's here along with Trupp and Pawpaw, or Pawpaw. There you go. Two midgets on a horse. Would you consider trading that horse for an elephant? Because midgets on an elephant would be amazing. Amazing. Let's also welcome Woody Clark and Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy, who will be joining us to work all about. My friends, it's not just sometimes about our friends in the chat. Sometimes it's about our friends who've journeyed into the unknown. To follow that link that's at the top of our in-show chat to join the back. Who would that be? Well, let's go ahead and find out who we have with us in the back today, my friends. There we go. Let's bring up the list and let's check it twice and find out who's nice. Well, would you look at that? We've got Alice W. here coming in from the great state of Florida. How the hell are you, Alice? Uh-oh.
Hi, Thomas. I'm doing okay. I don't know who Danny Sheehan is. Would you fill me in on that?
Mute yourself first.
Do what?
Mute yourself.
Mute yourself.
I don't have anything else open.
Mute. Press the mute button.
Press the mute button.
Otherwise, I will. There you go. Yes, you are echoing again, Alice. We got to check that before next time to help you fix it. Yeah, Alice comes in sometimes. And we get to hear myself talking back. But thank you for coming in, Alice. Appreciate you being here. Let's move down the list. Our next friend's coming to us from the great state of Colorado. Ashes is here. How the hell are you?
I'm wonderful. Glad to be here. And I think we need to start a GoFundMe so that Alice can get a new phone.
No, it's her Android device or something. Something's going on with stuff, and we'll get it figured out. Usually she just has to leave and come back in. And
though. I said we'll teach her who Danny Sheehan is, though.
Oh, gosh, yes. Danny Sheehan is the former attorney representing Lou Elizondo. He's a guy who knows a lot of information and usually lets the wrong stuff out when he shouldn't. He's also part of the Paradigm Institute, which comes to us from, yes, Ubiquity University, where you can go ahead and pay as much money as you want for any master's degree.
Yes.
Yes. Especially in ufology, yeah. Thank you for coming in, Ashes. Our next friend is coming to us from the great state of Hawaii. Corporal Abe, how the hell are you?
Pretty good today, Thomas. Good to see everybody here. Mike, everybody. It's another sunny day in Hawaii. Living the life.
Yes, welcome, my friend. Enjoy the sun while you can.
Will do.
Let's move on down to the great state of Iowa, where we could call our next friend a Hoosier, because he is. Daryl Zernick.
I think you mean Indiana.
Yes.
I'm not known for potatoes. Anyway, Ferrari and I say we're having a happy Friday. So thank you very much to you and Mike.
Yeah. So do you have your Google Home and Alexa still turned off?
Go ahead.
Hey, Google, turn off all the lights.
All right, turning off the lights.
Thanks, Thomas.
You're welcome. All right, our next friend comes to us from the great state of Texas. Let's welcome in Ed Brown. How's it going, Ed?
Well, it's good to be with you, Thomas and Mike. So good evening to you. It is 90 degrees in Central Texas this evening. It's warm here.
Absolutely.
Oh, and on the degrees, you can also get a doctorate degree from Ubiquity University, doctorate in UFO studies.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they got a lot of interesting. And I want to end this off and say, may the recliner be with you always.
I can live it.
Thank you for coming in today, Ed. Our next friend's coming to us from the great state of Wisconsin. Let's welcome in Laura Campbell.
Hi, Thomas. I'm looking forward to tonight's show. And I want to say that not all classwork costs money. Reed Summers has an online free class. It's going to be 4 lectures. It's called Decoding Alien Intent. So check that out.
Yeah, but rumor has it, if you want to pay $25,000 a year, you can get really quick and easy access to the whistleblowers and people behind the Soul Foundation.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's the top tier, I tell you. That is the top tier. I wish I had that. Yeah, roll those eyes, girl. You better believe it. Let's go ahead and put our sights up north to the Great White North, to someone in the province of Canada where all the U's are silent. Let's welcome in Mr. Michael Suckloff.
Well, good, Thomas. How are you?
See. Could be better, could be worse. A lot better than last show.
I hear it's going to be, I hear it's going to be an interesting night tonight. Happy Friday.
Oh, I mean, fuck you, Friday.
No, I stay away from those kind of words.
Oh, but yeah. I hope not.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
Oh, that's right. They're
He's Canadian.
Yeah, very polite.
Very polite.
But they should say.
Yeah, that's where when we tell people we don't like, I'm so sorry, you're stupid.
Oh, you said the magic word, sorry. I was waiting for But at least the astronaut on your picture is wearing the American flag. I appreciate that.
Is he? Oh,
yeah,
I'll have to change that. I'll have to get his arm with his elbow up. Too.
You'll have to pay a fee for that, my friend. 25%.
Oh, geez. I don't know if I can afford that. I'm retired, you know.
Oh, I know. We'll make it cheap for you. Just go ahead and join our less taxes.
Yeah, sure.
And less liberal. I could say you get less liberals, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right, our next friend's coming to us, well, from Oregon. And it's not boring because Neil Carr's there, and he's in the back. Neil Carr, how the hell are you?
I'm even better now that we have Gulf of America to explore. This new territory.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
It's phenomenal. But I have here, there has been a rash of true blue Democrats moving the hell out of Portland and moving up to Washington because of all the things that have been going on. Sounds like it's a war zone, my friend. How are you holding up?
Well, so far it hasn't bled over by Reed College, but I'm also bailing. I'm leaving. I'm migrating. I'm going to be relocating to the wonderful, historic, rich city of Philadelphia, 35 miles outside of Philadelphia. A friend of mine has a farm, her family farm. She's struggling to keep functional, and I'm going to go help her with it.
Wonderful. Better be just stay away from downtown Philadelphia, because if there's a place in the United States that has more drugs on the street and more people walking along like zombies, it's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So safe travels to you, my friend. Are you driving there?
No. And like flights are incredibly cheap.
Oh wow.
So probably fly there.
Yes.
And then just take it from there. And there's so much book is continuing to like develop. I'm living it out in my life in a way. It's highly strange. It's highly synchronistic, and it's going to be an amazing story when it all comes to fruition. And this Philadelphia move is all a part of it. It's like it was. I couldn't have wrote it better.
Well, congratulations, my friend. Good luck on your move forward, because that's what you want to do moving forward. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and I won't leave you guys behind. You'll be right there with me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and move right along. Who else do we have in the back? Well, we've got Sergeant Daniel, USMC, the great state of Massachusetts, where there are some people there who like to be called massholes. You're not one of them, are you, Sergeant Daniel?
I don't know. We have to claim Elizabeth Warren, so I really think we live up to that masshole, because you know she's got to be the #1 contender for being our next president. Everybody is just gonna be angry all the time. See, your dog knows.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he tried before, but these were too couldn't run. Thank you for coming, my friend. Our next friend's coming to us from the great state of New York. Well, that we got.
Hey, Thomas. Excited for the show? Hey, Mocha.
For coming and excited for the show as well, my friend. And that brings us to our last person in the back. We've got a legend in his own time, Mr. Tom Whitmore. Gosh. Thank you for coming in. You look phenomenal, my friend.
Hi, Thomas, and hi, Mike Disclosure, and everybody. And just thought I'd drop in, say hello, and join the conversation.
Now, did you steal those glasses from Rachel Maddow?
They look bigger than they are on TV.
Thank you for coming in, my friend. And let's go ahead, and that brings us back to Mike Disclosure.
We're doing well, and we have an interesting show for Friday after our last show on Monday. But I have to tell you, you and I have been talking privately about disclosure in general and how everything old is new again, because there doesn't seem to be much movement moving forward or progressing currently in disclosure. That being said, I have to say that we need to put a UFO alert up. We have breaking news that just broke as we started the show, and I sent it to you in a DM.
All right,
you
breaking
need to,
news sent to me in a Twitter DM.
Yeah, you need to read this for our audience. This is going to be an interesting story.
Well, I've got my bookmarks here. Let me get to the one coming in from Mike. Twitter is performing so slowly.
It's from Matt Laszlo from Ashkapole, and he interviewed an exclusive with Representative Eric Burleson.
Okay. I'm still waiting for X messages to go up. They're not working right.
Well, it seems that Representative Burleson is looking to have the House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer hired David Grusch as a staff member to help investigate on the congressional side disclosure moving forward, which we've had this story before, if you remember. Not the first time.
Now they did try to go ahead and bring Grusch in the past, Mike. Part of the issue is they didn't have budget for it.
Correct. And we don't know if there's any budget for it now. Seems like nothing has really changed. But hey, it's headline news, and everybody on X, formerly known as Twitter, is tweeting about it nonstop since we began the show.
Yeah. Sounds like Mocha's listening to the same thing. Okay, we've got an audio clip here coming in. Ask a poll, which means I can skip through the first 30 seconds because that's just a commercial for get into here. Yes, we are a subscriber to askapoll.com. We do have permission to play his audio.
Capital. Look at this young man.
Hey, what's up?
Popular.
Yeah.
I was curious. Last time I talked to Luna, she said that you guys were looking into bringing Grusch into a skiff.
Yes, and I'm looking to hire him.
Oh, really? On your personal staff?
Either my personal staff. I had already talked to Comer's team about it. They're researching it.
Yeah.
I need to go talk to them and ask them what's going on.
They're researching bringing him into the skiff?
And bringing him on staff.
Oh, interesting. Why... From your personal office, couldn't you just
He'd be kind of like a, I can, but I think that it would be ideal if he were part of the committee.
Why so?
Because I think that gives, he's not just working for me, he's working for the efforts of the team.
And the whole team is still investigating. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How does it, because it feels to some like JFK, Epstein is kind of getting more attention than UAPs right now.
It is, yeah, definitely. And so I'm staying. I've got my head down. I think Anna has, given me a lot of latitude to do this research. So,
and when do you think? Like, is there any timeline, or too early for timeline?
I think it's too early. But I want to get hired. I want to get him on board, and then just move quickly because we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, because it only is a 6-month window on the task force.
Yeah. I got to go inside.
Yeah, fair.
I got to eat. I haven't had lunch.
Fair. Have a good one, sir. Thanks for listening to
There you go. So they want... Now, Burleson Mike is what I'm hearing here, could bring him on to his own staff, but he's kind of shying away from it. Why? It would be a decent hit on his budget, wouldn't it?
Oh, hell yeah. So if you listen to this clip, when Laszlo asked Burleson, well, the task force, it has a 6-month window. That's when Burleson told him, yeah, I got to go, and completely dodged that question. Did not want to deal with it. Speaking of task force, if they do have a budget, they could have hired Grusch on the task force as an investigator. Why didn't they? Well, because when Laszlo also asked him about disclosure and said that, well, the Epstein files, the Kennedy files, disclosure is kind of on the back burner right now, Burleson agreed and said, yeah, it is. So everything is on the down low in regards to disclosure at the moment, just like we've been saying.
Yeah,
so he confirmed that.
And if we talk about that 6 months time frame, the threats at the task force 6 months mandate time frame is insufficient to declassify all the subjects postulated. Should emphasize once again, as Alan Levine has written in the past, that the task force 6 months duration can and likely will be extended beyond the 6-month period, because that 6 months simply reflects the current round of funding that's been allocated for its functioning. Now, like any government endeavor, when funding runs out, they can request for it to be extended, and Alan doesn't believe that any member of the task force thinks they could practically go through any one of these subjects in only the 6 months. So let's set the 6-month timeline as a concern aside. Now, forward movement on any of these subjects and what is publicly disclosed concerning their efforts and lobbying Congress to renew the task force at the end of 6 months is yet to be fleshed out. Now, so popular sentiment by the general public about what success the task force achieves during the time, or publicity about how they've been obstructed from achieving their ends, will be played out in an extension at the end of 6 months. So Alan Levine is clearly behind the movement, saying that they're not going to be able to get maybe one of their topics done in the next 6 months, let alone 9/11, Epstein, JFK,
Kennedy.
RFK, MLK, et cetera, right, Mike?
Right. No, Alan is correct on this, 100%, without a doubt. But until we see it fleshed out that they could possibly extend the task force, we don't know yet. It's still up in the air. But my point was, they could have hired Grusch as an investigator for the task force on what they're investigating, but they didn't. And my question would be, if they're that gung-ho to get him on board, why the fuck didn't they just hire him right off the bat when they put the task force together? They could have, but they didn't. So I think that's their first mistake.
Potentially limits how serious they are about bringing out the truth on UFOs. Now, remember, their stated goal for their information about UFOs isn't to declass everything. It's only to declass information that basically proves that we're not alone.
Right. Just the basic, bare minimum disclosure that we're not alone, without getting into any of the nuts and bolts beyond that.
But then again, we've heard that for the last year and a half coming from the Space Force, where they've said we are not alone, that the UAP are real, that we've seen them over the United States, but it's not just a problem with the United States, it's a global issue. And we're working with our partners worldwide to figure this out. So technically, while the Space Force has admitted it, we've heard pushback from the good old RO, Pentagon, saying it doesn't exist. You believe people in the Space Force who have access to all the feet, or the people in the DOD who are there to cover it up?
Well, look, we know the truth to this. We need the president to confirm that statement. And that's what it's all about. It has to come from the top down. Right, Thomas? The executive branch?
Well,
that's what the public needs to hear.
Well, you know, President Trump would love to get the press and dish this out. And if we do get down to that point, he probably will. But it sounds like we take this quiche out of the oven too soon, not the quiche, the souffle. Cannot.
I don't know. I think that he should, promises that he made on the campaign trail, he should start keeping some of them.
Well, generally speaking, he is the only president who makes promises, but it's not like we're not trying to end wars and save our economy and deal with all these crazy tariffs that have been put against the United States government for too many years to count, going unchecked, where the United States is paying for everything. Kind of like, with drug prices in the United States. They're out of control because drug companies like to get all the profits out of the United States and give away the drugs to everyone in the world at a discount, when, since we're paying for it, Mike, shouldn't we get the discount?
Oh, absolutely. It's all money that's funding these pharmaceutical companies. I agree.
Yeah.
But getting back to disclosure for a minute, the president could make this confirmation to the public, and they could hire Grusch and get that information out. But it seems like all they're doing is talking about it in the halls of Congress with Lazo, and they're not officially doing anything to move the ball down the road.
Oh, in other words, we're dealing with what we would consider
a bullshit artist.
Politicians dishing out shit to placate the people who are answering the questions, but we're really not moving forward, are we?
No, it doesn't seem like it to me.
But Ed does have his hand up on. Get the
Very patiently, he does.
I do, but I'll have to admit, after you run that bullshit artist clip, I feel like I ought to have a little space between me and that clip so people don't think you're talking about me.
Oh, never.
No,
About
not
you.
at all,
No,
Ed.
no, no.
Well, good. Well, I got a couple of thoughts on this.
Ed, you are our recliner and.
Well, I work at it very hard, Thomas. But you mentioned about the cost. Well, wouldn't it be nice if we could take some of the money we would have saved for all these employees that were sent home, if it weren't for the fact that one single federal judge told Trump he had to send them all back to work? So that we're going to keep spending the same amount, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars that we don't necessarily need to spend.
But have you seen
don't need to do work.
Have you seen the latest response from the Trump administration?
Well, I probably have, but
it seems to be a single figure salute to the judge rulings say that a judge is not the president.
Well, he needs to stand up there. There's 22 states that have sued the federal government over these issues. But let's go back to cost. You said, and they said that we can't extend this committee more than 6 months without getting authorization because we're only funded for it for 6 months. What the heck does the funding go to? All those staffers and all those congressional people are coming to work anyway. They just happen to go into a room to have a meeting. I don't know if maybe they pay the hotel and per diem costs for the visitors or the people that are testifying, but that can't be very much. I don't see why that would cost anything.
But you got to remember the staffers during the Biden administration were doing very interesting deliveries of packages in the hearing rooms. But that's changed.
I think it's just an excuse. That's my opinion. So, but the part of the problem, and I'm going to kind of give the President Trump some credit here. He has really got his plate full with all the stuff that he's putting on it. So he's going to have to take it a bite at a time, and I think that's going to be an issue. Oh, next subject. I talked to my congressional office today. I talked to some of the staff members in the congressional office to get some feedback on this priority. And, people call up their congressman and they say, I want him to look at this and look at this and look at this. The JFK files are definitely the top of the list here in Central Texas. And everything's below that. So they're going to do that one first.
Yeah, and there has been a lot of interesting stories coming out that people in Congress are pushing back against the truth coming out, which means there's a lot of money flowing into the hands of Congress to go ahead and lobby truth from coming out. It's amazing how long it's been, and they're still fighting about bringing out the truth. Isn't that disgusting?
Well, it is, but I don't think that's going to be that easy to overcome. We've also talked about the pushback from the aerospace companies that have got billions invested in these secrets, at least on the UFO side. They're not going to want to let it go.
Well, apparently Lockheed wanted to get rid of this shit, their stuff that they had, and they wanted to get rid of it. They wanted to divest up. But the CIA wouldn't let them. So there's stories on one side saying they've got this stuff, they don't want to give it up. But the other side of the coin says they had this shit and they want to get rid of it, but the CIA wouldn't let them divest of it. So which side of this?
Well, wasn't part of that the problem of where they were going to put it? It was talking about giving access to Arrow, but I don't think Arrow has.
No, that was even before our Arrow was around. This is back at the time there was OSAP, and they wanted to divest it from Lockheed Martin to Bigelow Aerospace. Yeah.
Back in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it just shows how slow this stuff moves.
Yeah.
Like molasses, Ed. Very slow.
Molasses on a cold day in Canada.
Yeah.
Ashes, your hand is up. Remember, audience, really quick, if you have a question, have a story you want to tell us, you want to jump in with something, go ahead and follow that link at the top of the chat. Ashes.
It's worth it. Worth it. Talk to some of the best people back here and after the show too. But anyways, I'm just as frustrated as everybody else because I keep up with this stuff on a daily basis. I'm constantly writing articles. I'm constantly checking on our task force, and it seems like everything came to a halt, and I'm just banging my head up against the wall because there's no new information that I can bring. And it seems like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and we thought we were getting the right people in place, but what are we doing?
Jerking off. I don't know.
The big circle jerk. You took the words right out of my mouth.
People. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you, Ashley. I was saying it's a big circle jerk.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just frustrating because I really was rooting for Luna and everybody to kind of, get their poop in a group and just work towards disclosure and everything. But I will say one thing that I did find out about the JFK files. So, there's a lot of stuff that is still just written down because they kept all the paperwork before they started keeping everything electronically. So they are calling for people to volunteer to transcribe these records so that we can get them into the electronic format, which is really cool.
Well, they actually have something called AI these days, and they can take those scans, and get them into a format. They've got copy machines that can take these documents and scan 30 pages double-sided in a minute, so there's no reason why.
But great.
They don't, and here's the thing. They don't need to wait till all the documents are done before they distribute them to us. Check out, do they? It should be.
I totally agree. But I do also think that sometimes we do need human oversight as well, because sometimes AI doesn't always tell us everything truthfully.
Well,
right?
It seems that, at least for my use of AI, it's starting to get lazy. You tell it this is what you want, and it only gives you a portion of it. And unless you go ahead and interrogate and say, no, I want this, and this is what I asked for. It's like, oh, you want the detail? I'll give it to you. So now it's like a teenager. You have to ask it several times to give you the right answer.
Yeah, so if we could use AI as a tool, a valuable asset, but still we're going to need human oversight on it.
Oh, yeah.
We could speed the process, though, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking about character recognition, basic stuff, documents coming in. It should be pretty well capable. Great points, Ashes. I appreciate
that. Scanning the paperwork just to get it into electronic form. That would be super quick,
And you would think all the documents that the FBI had, why aren't they digital already?
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Because we're lazy. Well, let's face it, humans are lazy. And our government has been way lazy for too long. When they can't come up with 5 different things they did in a whole week, and I can come up with 5 that I've done in 5 minutes, that's pretty lazy.
Yes. But at least if you're lazy.
But you know what? I would get fired in a heartbeat if I did the same thing they did. So I don't feel too sorry for them. But thank you for letting me indulge.
You better believe it, my dear lady. Our next person we're calling on, yes, Mr. Neil Carr.
Yeah, I just wanted to, thank you. I wanted to comment on something that Ed had mentioned about saying, well, if they're putting up, people who are testifying in hotels, and well, that can't be that expensive. I beg to differ, because how like a simple nut and bolt for like the Army will cost, like way more than it should. There's a lot of price gouging going on in like these Washington, D.C. boutiques, these higher end hotel chains that one night stay is going to cost more than like a mid-American family, like a 3-bedroom apartment would cost for a month, and it's really unfortunate. Like, I don't know if you've ever stayed in even a $500 a night hotel room. Like, I don't know what that should look like, but it's absolutely a waste of money, in my opinion. It
usually is.
Yeah,
3 words.
It's all profit, right?
3
there.
words: extended stay America.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm going to likely be stepping back into the valet world when I get to Philadelphia. There's a great demand for my experience and talent, and which I'm happy to deliver. And it'll be an interesting, because when you're a valet, you see so much going on in hotels, and it's going to be really interesting being that close to. Man, what's going on in this country? It'll be interesting to see what I observe.
Well, Philadelphia is where it used to happen 200 years ago.
Yeah, and it's always fascinated me. My whole life, I've been really interested in Philadelphia for that reason.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
You'll
wonderful.
learn all about drugs and prostitution in the hotels over there, Neil.
Oh yeah.
I've done several trainings on how to identify it and how to alert, how to get rid of it. And I had one general manager of 2 hotels that I was managing parking for completely ignore my, bringing that up to their attention after having just done another training too. I'm like, dude, like, you got something going on in this hotel and it doesn't fit the story, because hotels have it's a play. People are either like leisure or business,
right? Or they're there for fun.
Exactly. And those people, the ones that don't want to be recognized going in and out or seen, are the ones that stand out the most.
Yes.
They don't fit the picture, and when people don't fit the picture, you wonder, well, what are they doing here? And they really stand out more than they would think they do. And
it's the world's oldest profession, Neil. You're not going to get rid of it. Simple truth.
Oh yeah.
Right. And the reason why you got to wonder, like, is it money that makes them turn a blind eye? Maybe, and it's just funny that after bringing that to his attention, that like 2 weeks after that was when I had to step down from my position, because he was rejecting me as his parking manager at that point. But I mean, it was complicated, that one hotel, but that's another story for another show.
So back chat at the very least, but we have Daryl Zernick next waiting. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
Thomas, I just want to say I've got my lights back on.
Oh, excellent.
Sorry
about that.
And I also, instead of a circle jerk, I'd much prefer a pet circle. I mean, Ed's already got the T-shirt.
So instead of circle jerking, it's heavy petting.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's a pet circle. Oh my god. Oh my god. At least it doesn't say heavy butt before it. But yeah, great call, my friend. I'm glad he got the lights back on. Hey, Daryl, do you have Alexa tuned on your Google House?
I'm on again the Google Home.
Yeah,
I don't know why my video's not showing. I've reset the thing and it's just not coming through. But whatever.
I got to defend myself here. I'm a volunteer at the local animal shelter walking dogs.
Oh, nice. I did not know that. That's
nice.
Wonderful.
That's what I do. Volunteer work is socialize and provide enrichment for them and tell them life's going to be good before they euthanize them.
You should have a live stream where you do that every day. You'd probably get more viewers than we would get. Go there, sit with the dogs, hang out with them, take them for a walk, have them come back all happy with wagging tails and stuff. Probably get a lot of views.
Yep.
Ed's such a sweetie, and he's got a really cute little avatar with the dog. You should see it sometime.
And I've got 3 of my own here. I never have enough. We're actually thinking about having a 4. Have a pack. Why? Sergeant Daniel. Well, actually, I'd be more like Mike's house, but I'd have a pack here. But you've got a posse.
Yeah. I do. I absolutely do.
How many
Welcome to
cats?
Married life. 5.
5 cats, 2 dogs, 4 kids, and a wife.
Yep.
That sounds like the name for a show on TL.
Full House.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there was a show called that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Let's get on next to Sergeant Daniel, USMC.
Yeah. So let's get to Trump. I think he's actually, pun intended, holding this as a Trump card. I think that this will be able to, if he gets into real trouble, if something, a war or something goes down, he could actually probably change the narrative really quickly by disclosing something. And the fact that he hasn't said anything, he hasn't mentioned anything about the drones, and people haven't even asked him, and that's kind of odd. I think that in general, he could hold on to this when he really needs something to get, because he's going to make history. He's going to change the narrative in the country for at least a few days. And so I'm just hoping. I'm hoping that it's going that way, because he hasn't come out against it, which is a good thing. He likes to talk, so.
Yeah, let's hopefully when it gets to his desk, he'll go ahead and take this as momentum to say, look at the deep state. Look at what these unelected bureaucrats have been doing, ruling over the country for the last 70 plus, almost 80 years at this point.
Right, and Ross Coulthard thinks that he says he has information that Elon Musk knows all about it, and he's been read in. He's a pretty good liar. I mean,
Here's the thing.
Well,
are you talking about Ross being a liar or Elon?
No, Elon.
If Elon, here's the thing. Elon's really smart, right? Would you say that he's smart, kind of like Trump is smart?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if Elon would know that if he would bring any of this stuff out, it'd be a violation of national security and throw all these different things under the bus and screw things up, do you think Elon would tell the truth? I mean, look at what what do you call it? James Lukatsky said, who was the leader of OSAP in the Pentagon at the time it was going on. He said if he got pulled up in front of
under oath,
right? He would lie and not tell the truth for what he knows. And he supposedly got to touch a freaking UFO, and he said he'd lie about it because of the national security that he'd be violating.
Hal Puthoff has said that also.
Yeah.
But they're protected.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're just using wordplay. I think he does interdimensional. I mean, he doesn't go interdimensional. It could have something to do with that. And it's not extraterrestrial.
That's the same thing.
He knows interdimensional or something like that. He's just not, he's just
bingo
in it.
That's the same bullshit the DOD's been pulling. Oh, there's no aliens here because aliens from fuck out there.
Sure.
Not talking about things that may have been here for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years.
Right. I think he's wordplaying it for sure.
Or here from another dimension. Because remember that whole thing, what do you call it, where they have things that happen in a distance where you have two objects that are tied together. One thing happens over here, another thing happens over there. That's the possibility.
Entanglement.
Yeah, quantum entanglement. Our reality, our location in our reality could be quantumly entangled someplace else, whether it's here overlapping us.
Or future humans at that. What better place to leave the planet than go back in time if you can time travel?
Yeah, that's true. Why leave if you love the place?
If you can't get off the planet, you can't get to another star or whatever, another star system. Why don't you just go, if you can go back in time, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Let's move on next. Ashes.
All right. So I was just going to speak on what he said about holding a trump card. I don't think that he has any other special privileges like the presidents before him who haven't been read in. There was one president, because I study this a lot, that did get read in, but do you think that he provided disclosure? No. That was George W. Bush, I believe. And
Herbert Walker Bush, HW, the first one, actually.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And he didn't get read in as president. He actually got read in as head of the CIA. When he became president, they didn't read him in.
And we haven't even gotten to the main story yet that David Howell is complaining about. Yes.
Oh.
Danny Sheehan, we'll play the clip. He's going to be going in to meet with Trump Jr., but still a Trump. More importantly with that, Danny Sheehan had said that Elizondo was also meeting with members of Trump's cabinet who are positive towards UFOs. So we'll see where this goes.
Right. I'm just saying there's a lot of gatekeepers and not everybody's going to get read in. And I don't think that he fits in the mold. And I think there's a lot of people that want to hold a lot of stuff from him.
Yeah.
It's great. Then all he has to do is sign an executive order and declassify all the UAP material. That's it. Nothing's stopping him. Not even the gatekeepers. They can't prevent him from doing that. Right, Thomas?
Yeah. Not even Nick, who has his hand up.
Go ahead, Nick.
He's a good Nick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. There's rumors that James Lukatsky actually got into one of those UFOs that's like egg-shaped. Like,
I didn't hear it was
egg-shaped enough.
We had heard that they had gotten into one of the UFO and there were no control surfaces anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Appreciate
That's what we heard, Nick.
Appreciate that insight and stuff. I guess, Mike, we could get to the topic of the day.
Yes.
I was hoping I
can.
could get to, because people are concerned that I'm not bringing the top story for Amiga Rules. Thomas's mic keeps on cutting out. Let me go ahead and pull it up a little higher for my volume. This one a little bit more. Hopefully now it shouldn't be cutting out. This is probably a result from the other day. I've just kicked up the volume. Let me know if this cuts out anymore, folks, or if it's too loud. Appreciate it. I'll keep an eye on the chat to see what's going on. Yeah.
Now let's roll the clip on Danny.
All right. Oh, yes, the clip on Danny. Let me go ahead and, you know what, before I get to this, I've already got it up here. We'll get to the Danny Sheehan stuff in a minute here. Before get there, I want to go ahead and bring this up. Let me get it here. What we've got here, Mike, is an interesting picture from Mars. What we actually have here is actually the raw image from what was seen on Mars. What are we looking at? We're looking at something that people are calling a tic-tac. But here's the thing. If you take this image and zoom out a bit, that's kind of what it looks like when you zoom it all out, and you've got it over here. But if you zoom into it, the images that are sent from the Perseverance, if you want to call it rover, that's in Mars, it sends the images, Mike, black and white. Also, it sends them in this half-toned pattern. Why do they do this? It's because technology is many years old. More importantly, it has to go ahead and survive a ton of radiation because there's no magnetosphere around Mars in most places. There's a bunch of little magnetospheres over the place. But the thing is, regular radiation coming in would shut down a lot of technology. That's why I believe the Mars rover is still running on a PowerPC G5 that was created specifically for NASA by PA Semiconductor, who was actually bought out by Apple many, many years ago. Amazing, isn't it? Now, with that, again, just bringing up, looking at the pixel pattern. Oh, shit, what it looked like. There you go. Let's zoom out a bit. Now we've got something that looks a little bit more like people were talking about. More importantly, I've got one of the images there. You can see, Mike, when you zoom in, there's a lot of difference going between this. It almost looks like it's reflective, right? And there's a light source and everything, and it's dark, and there's a shadow underneath that. But wait, there's a shadow down here that doesn't exactly purport towards the object we've got here. But what they've kind of seen getting into this, you can see the shadow we've got on this particular rock over here. Yes, it could potentially be a rock, and the shadow there. You've got a shadow that's very close to the object. And a lot of people are jumping up and down. Even Jesse Michaels is covering this, saying, look, breaking news. There's a UFO on Mars. But the scale of the object, Mike, would be about 6 inches to a foot in length. And I believe the Tic Tacs are about 70 feet in length, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So
I agree.
A lot of people have been going back and forth on this, looking at it. Let me see if I can get, oh, not that one there. I've got some more images I can go ahead and bring up. Let me get them here with regards to it. Where did that one object go? All right. So what I've got here is the other thing that we're saying about this object, Mike.
Yeah.
Is that NASA took down the high resolution images. But wait, if you follow the links, you do the research, and take a look what's out there, and not just be a person saying, look, the link that I clicked on wasn't there. If we take a look at that, let's get into this. Would you look at that, Mike? It's the full panoramic view that's made up of a lot of small images. And if we zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, I know it's right around here somewhere. I saw it as you bring it in. I know it's right. Not there. Let me get into it. Oh, I know. Here we go. Let's get to the object. If you look, there is the object on the colorized version of this image, right? But then also, if you look up to the ledge over here, would you look at that? You've got another object that looks very similar to the one we've seen over here. So it's not like there aren't other objects like this within the image that are at this location. People have going from multiple places, checking as the rover moved along, looking at all the images. And what they found from the images that are there, that object was stationary. It wasn't moving. And more likely than not, we're looking at a rock, Mike.
That's what I think too, Thomas. I agree.
Yeah.
But Tom has his hand up. I'd be curious to hear what he has to say about
Yeah,
this.
Tom Whitmore, go ahead, my friend.
I was just going to ask what are the dimensions that you may have just said?
About they estimate it's about 6 inches long.
Then why would it have any significance?
Because there's nothing going on in Disclosure right now, and people are looking for something to talk about.
Okay. Sounds like Jesus in a tortilla.
I've never heard that one
that
before,
one.
but that's a good one. Absolutely. Yeah, there's just people looking for stuff, and there's not a lot of stuff going on right now, Tom. So everyone's kind of trying to find materials to try and figure out what we're looking at and what it could potentially be. Now, we do have some more people in the back with their hands up. Michael Sokoloff, what say you?
I'm crushed, Thomas. You debunked this, and now I'm so sorry. It's not a tic tac.
Yeah, for anyone looking for the high resolution image, I am going to put this in the chat right now for anybody who would like to go ahead and see it, just because we like to share, don't we, Mike?
We do.
Like the other Mike.
We absolutely do. Yeah.
So that's quite the illusion, actually, but the guys somebody created this just to get clicks. It's clickbait as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'd have to agree with that completely. It's just one of those things you look at and, going ahead and saying when they're looking at this particular object and getting into it, but it's a different color. Well, the color, as we went and showed everybody, is actually fake because the original image looks like this. Good AI and good filters to go ahead and complete the image, but it's just not what the rover is actually seeing. Now, here's the thing. We know the Mars rover has seen a lot of objects when it's been moving along, but the Mars rover never stops, never goes and examines any of these objects. It just keeps along charging. So if they're charging through to its destination, unlike the Chinese, they see something, they say, hold on, stop, let's go figure this thing out, see what it is, see if it's real. United States of America, NASA, never a straight answer, never wants to go investigate anything. And trust me, our rover has seen countless items that you look at and scratch your head and say, what the hell are we looking at? You know what I mean, Mike?
Wasn't there a time when NASA used to tinge the soil to make it look red, but that was just a thing they did, but now they give you the real color of the dirt or not?
Color of the dirt, not just that, the color of the sky. They would take and color the sky actually red or orangish in color, right? But when some actual images came out that were high resolution, that were in color coming from the rover, the sky was actually blue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Blue skies.
Blue skies, go figure, on Mars. And there's no oceans. How about that? Must be something to do with the atmosphere or lack thereof.
Maybe NASA was just trying to get the colors of the flag in there, red, white, and blue.
Good idea, my friend. Better than just red and white, huh? Let's go to Neil Carr next. Neil, go ahead.
Meanwhile, you're strapped to a chair at Recall, getting lobotomized. That was the name of the vacation he chose, Blue Skies on Mars.
Really?
Yep. And tall, sexy, and demure.
Demure, yeah.
Yeah, demure. I was just going to say, I would prefer my savior to be on a tortilla chip and not a dog's butt. I think our
Yes.
friend Steve Mera showed an example of that in one of his presentations.
Yes.
It was hilarious.
I just want to go ahead and show this really quick. This is the object they were calling a duck, because if you look, it's got like a wing and the body, and it has a neck, and there is a shape on there that looks like a duck. Not only that, if you look all over this image, there are shadows being cast from objects with odd shapes that have been worn out in this particular area, right?
My pareidolia needs an upgrade, apparently.
Yeah.
I see a dog face, I think.
Yeah. So you got a lot of shadows all over the place, long casting shadows for what's going on. So seeing the shadow that's going on here, we don't know if the shadow of the object is actually below it at this point, or that it's actually casting down here, because this particular shadow could be casting from something that's up here. Now, if
it's a beautiful shape.
Yeah, it is.
I got to wonder, like, was that caused by, if it's a rock, is it caused by water flow, or
probably from air, wind, if it's on the ground, and you go ahead and compare it to some of the other objects and rocks that are in some of the areas that if I bring it back to the other image I had up here a minute ago, if you look at some of the other objects we have here, it looks like one of these rocks potentially, or that rock there, but we have the rock going over at this particular point that could be, let me zoom in. No, it's not going to let me zoom in any farther, but it's an interesting image. But again, it's a picture that's been fit with the details, 50% of the details and all the colorization has been created by AI. So it's hard to determine what we're actually looking at.
I do find that all the coloring that NASA did highly suspect, and just, but I mean, the planet does appear red from, just your backyard telescope.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
But this really doesn't look red. It looks more yellow or tan, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Maybe beige. Or you could call it antique white. I have some walls in my house this exact color.
Neptune or something. There's Tingula.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of really cool rover footage that shows it's a colorful landscape. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on up there.
Oh gosh, yes. Absolutely, my friend.
So hopefully we just don't turn it into a prison colony with Elon Musk being the first inmate.
Well, that would be, let's just call it Australia then.
Exactly. Australia out there.
Yeah.
The outback. I don't know.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely.
I love you guys.
If I go ahead and find this up, I know I have some audio, some clips here coming from Neanderthal over on X today. Let me go ahead and find this here. In the meantime, Mike, could we ask for a better season of disclosure than what we're getting now, or what?
Did we ask for a better one? Absolutely. Will we get one? That remains to be seen.
I don't think so.
Unfortunately, that's where we're at right now. This could be the new norm. It's possible.
Oh, I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not, my friend.
Too.
No.
Yeah. So let's see what Danny has to say.
Well, yeah, let me get to Danny. I've got some other stuff. All right. So Danny Sheehan told me he'll be okay. That's Anna Polina Luna. All right. Danny Sheehan says Elizondo was unable to make it. So apparently there was a talk that happened in Ashland, Oregon last night on 3/13/2025 that someone had announced that Lou Elizondo was going to be talking about. I think we brought this up like over a month ago when it was first mentioned, Mike.
Yeah.
And I checked the schedule of all of Lou Elizondo's speaking engagements, and it wasn't on there. And I said, wait a minute. Why are they saying he's going to be in Oregon for a free event when Lou has had day after day after day after day on the East Coast going ahead for all of his
appearances?
Yeah, all the paid for appearances that he was going to be on, right?
Right. That's correct. We went over the schedule.
And there was nothing there mentioned about it. And that's why I was suspect at that time. Now, fast forward to last night in Oregon. Lou Elizondo, of course, wasn't there. But who does actually show up is Sean Cahill. Reminds me of the interview that Lou was supposed to be on what was that? Fade to Black. Remember that? They said Lou Elizondo was going to show up, but Cahill showed up and not Lou.
Right. I remember that.
Seems similar. So let me go ahead and get this clip up here from Neanderthal that he took last night. Danny Sheehan talking about Lou and him going to D.C. to brief Donald Trump Jr. and other people in the Trump administration on UFOs. Got to wonder if Dad's going to be there, that it's not just going to be Don Jr. But then again, that would have been today. And at the end of the day, today, we actually saw Trump going to Air Force One. Actually, not that. Air Marine One with little X in tow. It's like he's got a new grandson, almost.
Yeah.
So let's get to this. Geraldine Durazio, thank you very much for that super chat, my dear lady. How about that? Someone who appreciates our show. Remember, we are a fan-funded program, and I personally thank you very much, Geraldine. If I should give you a great big hug right now, I certainly would. Yes, let's get into this, and let's go ahead and play this clip coming from Danny Sheehan. Where is this at? Let's get to this. Hold on. All right, Mike, here we go.
So there's a whole bunch of, we were going to have Lou here tonight, up until yesterday morning. You know, he was prepared to come. He's gotten called to Washington, D.C. You know, he has been and is going to be meeting with Donald Trump Jr. To brief him more on this issue and others inside the administration. And so he is not going to be here over there.
Well, that guy was so nice to stand up in front of Neanderthal, but we do have one more clip coming from Neanderthal where he actually got to ask a question about that and basically saying that Danny is going to be meeting with Anna Polina Luna's task force next Tuesday, but didn't get to answer the rest of the question because Sean Cahill popped in. Let me go ahead and get this up here. Let's play this next clip. Here we go.
Yeah. I was wondering if you have any updates. I know you said recently you were working with Luna's task force to try and get the time frame of that extended. And also there's been some talk about them now trying to finally get Dave Grusch back into a skiff with Lou Elizondo and Arrow. Yes. And if you have any news on those sort of things. Yeah. Really appreciate the talk.
I'm going to be meeting with them Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock.
So Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. Which means by Tuesday afternoon, D.C. time, Mike, you think we'll get an answer about what happened?
Well, let's see. Monday is St. Patrick's Day. Danny is Irish. Do I think we're going to get anything on Tuesday? Probably not.
Well, he's meeting with them on Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Right.
Yeah.
So is he going to come out publicly after that and make an announcement? I don't think so.
I hope so. I certainly hope so, but
it would be nice.
I won't hold my breath.
No, exactly. That's my point.
I guess we need, Sam wants us to jump into a chorus of Old Danny Boy. And no, we don't want any bathing suit pics of Danny. That's okay.
Yeah, we'll pass.
All right, let's play some more of this. Here we go.
Okay. And then I've already been interviewed by Arrow, you know, by Sean Kirkpatrick himself, you know, and so we're in communication with them. What we're going to try to do is try to, you know, Sean is here. Okay, Sean.
Get me out of answering this question and focus on Sean Cahill, Mike.
Master Arms of the USS Princeton, which is.
How about that? They didn't get Lou Elizondo, but amazing Sean Cahill showed up.
Right, which says a lot, if you ask me. Yeah. Nothing good.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
true.
Sean I don't believe, has anything relevant right now, because you and I are well aware that there is nothing going on with disclosure at the moment. It's quiet.
Yeah, oh
So
God.
I don't know what Sean is going to talk about.
You call it quiet. I call it comatose or dead at this point. There's
I'm being
not a lot
diplomatic.
going on.
I'm trying to be diplomatic for our audience.
Oh, I know. Got to keep them happy. Got to keep them coming back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to this. All right, so I actually have a local clip coming from Como, actually King 5 News. It's not the Como Homos. No, it's the King 5 News alert from Bellingham. Believe it or not, they had a UFO fly in front of their weather camera yesterday.
Oh, that should be interesting. Very nice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and get to this. No, not that one because it's screwed up. But where am I at? Interview. No. Video. Guest. Let's get to this one, Mike. Pull it up a little bit higher. And let's play from last night's news broadcast.
Good news for skiers and so-so for drivers. Take a look right now. You can see the Bellingham Tower cam showing that full moon that's out there. We had the eclipse earlier.
There we go.
in the evening.
That's going pretty quick. And what's interesting about it, we're talking about this little blob right here. It's going down, levels off, right? Goes down a little bit more, and then goes back up again. Definitely not a plane, going way too fast.
It's out there. We had the eclipse earlier in the evening.
But how about that? It's great to see unidentified flying objects. I think we're seeing more and more of these showing up on news broadcasts, Mike.
Right, but it's the weather report. It's not mainstream news anchors talking about this.
Oh, fuck no. But at least you get to see something where you've got something that is intelligently moving. It's not just something that's moving across the sky, leaving a trail behind it. It is moving relatively fast. Not that it's like moving like a UFO fast, but something that's definitely going and has moving at a good clip. Not a plane. Ed Brown, your hand is up, my friend.
Yeah, it seems to me some of the most reliable ones are the ones you don't expect, and that's an example of it right there, where they weren't trying to show that movement at all. It just showed up in the background.
Yeah.
But did you see the launch of the SpaceX flight going to the space shuttle?
Did they make it up? I know they tried the other day and they didn't launch because of an
To the
issue.
space station. Yeah, it got off the ground, but behind it looked to me like UFOs, like they were following it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it could have just been ice coming off the rocket and and then flashing, but it sure looked to me like the UFOs were following that launch today.
I'll have to go back and look at the feed on that. Thank you for that look, my friend. I appreciate that. Andy W., welcome from Bristol, United Kingdom.
Hi, Thomas. Yeah, I finally made it. This weird time dilation of daylight savings. for
Yeah,
you
you've got
guys.
about 2
You're-
more
you're
weeks of
about 3
this.
weeks.
It's like you guys are like 3 to 4 weeks behind us, it seems.
Yeah. So it's good to be here, and it's good to be off work at long last. But yeah, I really like these sort of these unintentional captures, whether it's a UFO or not.
Right.
But these give like you say, it's unintentional. They were doing something else. This thing appeared on screen. So those are the ones that actually I take more stead when we get stuff like that.
Right.
They could potentially be real.
Now, what the thing I like about this, Sandy, I have to say is based on the footage we have of that UFO that was in Malta. They're not just moving in a straight line, angular things. They are moving in a curvaceous format or a movement. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Something that's definitely moving across. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it goes down as you say. It moves up, but I don't know as it goes off screen whether it's actually curving and turning as well.
Right. Well, if you look at right here, right in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to watch it go behind. go behind the on-screen graphics, which that goes ahead and says this isn't something that's reflecting on the television, in the good old telly. Then it comes out from underneath it, keeps on going down, dives down a little bit right here, and then starts going back up again. As you can see right here, it's coming out below, coming in below this object, but coming in slightly above it. So there's definitely a movement to it that's very interesting. And I also like it, Andy, that these are the unexpected video captures of UAP that are out there.
Yeah, and I really like it also on this one. Yeah, the weatherman doesn't actually notice it.
No,
it's gone behind him. By the time he turns to do his look at the view of the bay or whatever he does, this thing's actually literally behind him. So he doesn't even notice it himself. There's no exclamation, "Oh, look at that's a bit weird" or anything. It's actually, So whether it was or not, we can find out. We've got the plane, apps that we can go back on time and then see whether this was just how the camera caught a plane flying across.
Right.
But it's can't say it's real a genuine UFO or not, but to me it's a really good capture of something that could well be.
Not as great as the atmospheric conditions we've been seeing with the Aurora Borealis in the past week, no. But it is something that really catches your eye. And, for me, seeing something like that, it's definitely an unidentified object.
Yeah. Yeah, until we identify it, it is.
Oh, gosh, yes. Yeah, and just to go ahead and say no, in coming from Texas, no, there isn't an alien invasion, but it does look like there is a what do you call it? A methane fire going on under the streets of Texas. Let me go ahead and bring this one up. This is an interesting video to say the least. Let me get into it. Here we go. Let's go ahead and play it. Interesting. Green flames coming up. You would think it's something from an invasion from Mars, but no, it's just methane gas getting vented. Mike, what do you say about the sewers again? Uh-oh.
What I said was everyone refers to things as a swamp. But with the way Disclosure and the community has been lately, with a lack of any progress or any disclosure moving forward, I said it's more like a sewer than it is a swamp.
Yeah, so that's the sewer.
Yeah.
I guess it's reached all the way down to Texas for that matter. But yeah, it looked very cool. Something I wanted to go ahead and catch and share with the audience because, yes, that is the bullshit of Disclosure burning off.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
One of those things we did, wrong one. We just kind of deal with. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we else have here to talk about. Yeah, Mike, it's been dead in the land of Disclosure lately. Oh my God.
Yes, sir, it has. You're absolutely correct about that. And it doesn't look like it's going to be moving forward anytime soon. Not unless we get something out of the executive branch, and right now we're still waiting.
And it's not for us not trying to go ahead and find things to go ahead and bring out the truth.
No, that's because it's actually dead. And if there was any movement going on behind the scenes, you and I would both be aware of it. But because we haven't heard anything and it's dead and quiet, and from the government side of things, from the scientific side of things, from anybody and everybody who's in the know in this community, there's nothing moving forward with Disclosure at the moment, and that's just the way it is. It's been dead ever since the drone flap that we covered was going on, and then after we got an announcement from the Trump administration that the drones were actually FAA authorized. It has died down dramatically since then, and we haven't gotten any real information since that point.
No,
so
we haven't.
It's dead. No, we haven't. Nothing. People reached out to the FAA, and their answer was authorization. We never heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about the drones, but here's something interesting. Talking about the cover-up, feds accused of destroying Epstein evidence, should be any evidence for this matter, put on notice by GOP firebrand Representative Anna Polina Luna, wants federal agents caught destroying or concealing government documents to be eligible for a life sentence in prison. I think they need to take this beyond the Epstein documents and put it out there for the UFO documents and Kennedy documents alike.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. But is it overreaching and overstepping? Will they realistically do something like that? Probably not.
No. But it's nice to think about it.
Well, it's nice to, hear threats like that being made. They're not realistic, but it's still entertaining to hear it.
Oh, as always. That's about where that's what we've been reduced to these days, entertainment. That's what all disclosures turn into these days. It's all entertainment. Oh, I have to bring it up. We talked about it before. Let's see if I've got, let me get out of this, get into this. I think I may have a bookmark on this one from a couple days ago. Yes, there's some interesting words. There's interesting thing happening, Mike, in the world of disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone from bringing out the truth, right?
Right.
To dollars for disclosure.
Oh, I know where this is going. Ugh.
Yep, and I'm going to bring it up just because of where we're at. The Soul Foundation has published an interesting web page that I'm going to go ahead and share with our audience right now. Not only can you go ahead and sign up for their events, they actually have membership now. Were you aware? Yeah, you were aware of that. We've been talking about this bullshit. We've been talking about this, saying, oh my God. And, I hate to say it. Rich Giordano was right in some aspects. It is dollars for disclosure, my friend. It is. Well, should we get to it? Should I show the page and we can get into the details?
Yeah, might as well. We're in this far.
Yeah, I have to do it. I want to go ahead and get there. Let's get to it. Solo guest. Let's get into this. We'll do it together, Mike. So the Soul Foundation has a membership program. And apparently, if a lot of people have bringing this up, including people who actually have other live streams they've brought up in chat groups, they get freaking smashed by people saying, how dare you say something negative about Gary Nolan? We're not saying anything negative about Gary Nolan other than people's opportunity to join the Soul Foundation. So let's talk about the deals you can go ahead and get, Mike. I've got music for this.
Oh, God help us. Yep. Here we go.
Here we go, folks. Yes, you and your friends can go ahead and qualify for the Soul membership programs. Yes, that's right. For Tier 1. Our core tier is for investigators of UAP and other frontier topics who want to support Soul's mission of research and public education while participating in a community of like-minded people, whether you're new to the undisclosed or experience in it. Core members have an open and uncommon minds, are curious about new perspectives and discoveries in UAP research, and ready to join together in constituents of the Soul community. Membership includes access to private Soul Forum show meetings, join behind-the-scenes discussions with experts, access to Soul Forum breakout rooms, engage in focused topic-driven discussions, and more importantly, a quarterly newsletter. Stay informed with research updates, member spotlights, and insider insights. Merchandising, you get a cotton shopping bag or a t-shirt plus pen and sticker. Mike, what would you go for? The all-cotton shopping bag or the t-shirt with pen and sticker?
None of it. I wouldn't go for any of it, but you know that already, Thomas.
Well. For the core, you can join core for $350 a year, or pay. You can pay up front for $350 a year, or $35 a month for a savings of about $70. How about that?
Yeah.
Our next tier is the Aurora tier. Tier 2. Aurora members investigate the unknown and contribute to the expansion of human understanding. This membership tier for those who want to influence the path forward by helping to drive the conversation and investigate initiatives that Soul organizes. What does the membership include? Everything, all tier 1 benefits, plus a guaranteed early invitation to attend the 2025 Soul Foundation Symposium, exclusive of registration fees, which you still need to pay. Limited edition Soul Foundation hoodie. Show your support with members-only merchandise. Early access to research, finding, and reports, and discounts on Soul Foundation merchandise and events registration fees. And that's for only $250 a month, Mike, or $2,500 per year, a savings of $500. So for $2,500 a year, Mike, they still won't give you free access to their meetings.
Right. That's absolutely right.
Oh, but wait, there's more. We have
Yes,
the
sir.
Helios Tier 3. Helios members are inspired to further the development of humanity understanding of UAP and consciousness. This kind of sounds like us, Mike. This tier is for those who want to fire Soul's vision. Yes, I'd love to fire some people, tell you that's the truth. Influence real world decisions and have a sustained impact on the direction of groundbreaking initiatives. All tier 1 benefits plus, let me go ahead and move this up because I want to go ahead and show people how much money they can save on this. What do they get? They get a signed copy of a landmark UAP book. I wonder if that's Eminent by Lou Elizondo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't say, does it?
Annual private briefing with Soul leadership and research. Plus, you gain exclusive insights into new discoveries and strategic initiatives. Plus, you get periodic members-only virtual Q&A session with Soul researchers. Mike, how much do you think this one is?
$25,000.
This one is for $500 a month or $5,000 a year. Remember, go ahead and pay that $5,000 a year up front to save $1,000.
Wow.
But wait, Mike, there's more. There is a tier 4, which is coming up next.
Okay.
It's up here. I don't want to spoil this for people.
That?
The catalysts. This is for Nova tier 4. The catalysts are the change makers with a lot of money making change, my friend. Those who support strategic insight, accelerate the foundation's work. This group drives transformation and actively shapes the future of scientific and policy discussions surrounding UAP and related topics. Hold on a second here. Wasn't the policy topics and all that shit supposed to be coming from the UAP Disclosure Fund? I didn't know that the Soul Foundation is about pushing scientific policy in our government.
It wasn't. I guess it is now.
But wait, it is now, Mike. It is now. And membership includes, off to the side a little bit here so you can kind of see. Let me just move my fat head real quick. All right. Just go to this one. Here we go. Membership includes all tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 benefits. Means you get a t-shirt and you get a hoodie, Mike, and discounts. You get an annual exclusive VIP dinner with key UAP figures and stakeholders.
A 5-star restaurant. Yeah.
I wonder if they have to pay for it themselves.
They probably do. I'm sure no one's picking up the check.
I heard that happened with the whistleblowers dinner in DC earlier this year. Also, an exclusive private roundtable with Soul Foundation directors and scientists. Also, the annual strategic discussion on research, policy, and private sector priorities. Oh, there we go. The private sector priorities. You mean, Mike, they're talking about that second level, that second layer of disclosure that's coming soon to a theater near you.
Oh, yeah, the next documentary.
You also get priority access to Soul events and special projects. Be the first in line for invitations to engage in new opportunities. Now, Mike, I think at this one, they're actually including the price for you to get into these activities based on your monthly fees. But wait, you get customized membership perks. You get to work directly with the Soul Foundation to tailor benefits to your interests. Recognition on the Soul Foundation's website and symposium materials. Optional for those who wish to be acknowledged. Oh my God, Mike, look at this one. This one is $2,500 a month or $25,000 a year. Sign up for that yearly benefit because you're saving $5,000, Mike.
Wow.
Should we sign you up?
No, I'll tell you why. Because except for the hoodie, the T-shirt, and it doesn't include a decoder ring, if you pay for that plan, you will have the opportunity to exclusively speak with staff members of the Soul Foundation. But wait, you and I don't have to go through staff members because we have Danny's personal cell phone, and we could talk to him any hour of the day and night, and it doesn't cost us $25,000.
But
and
Mike,
we also influence what goes on.
they don't
behind
give
the
us
scenes.
our special badge, our special press badge that says we're a UFO investigator. It doesn't give us a decoder ring or a magnifying glass or the special kit for gathering UAP evidence and sealing it up in a vial.
That's true. You're right, it doesn't. But the access that you and I already have for free, I think, is much more valuable than what they're offering to the public. And in my opinion, them offering something like this to the public is a credibility killer for the organization. Anytime they're reaching into the public's pockets, it's not a good sign. So I'm not a fan of any
It's
of
like
this, but you know
lifting.
that already.
It's like lifting with a G.
Yeah.
Or with a GER.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It is disclosure for dollars. I hate to say it. What has this turned into?
Nothing good. That's the problem. That's
I know
where
a
we're
lot
at
of people
right now.
say, yes, the Soul Foundation's doing a lot of good things, but
Yeah. Well, wasn't Colonel Carl part of the Soul Foundation, and recently he stepped away from all of this?
Yeah, but Colonel Carl Nell, in a short amount of time, looks like he put on 30 to 40 pounds potentially, which means he may be dealing with some major health issues. Could be the reason. I need to step away for a second, and I'm going to let you go and lead this, and I know Tom has his hand up as well.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to talk to Tom about this. Go ahead, Tom. What's your take on it?
What I'm not sure about is, do you have to be a member at some level to attend the annual convention?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do you have to be a member at some level?
To attend the convention, you have to, it's from what I understand up until this point, it was by invitation. So you couldn't walk in off the door off the street.
Right, but I applied and they accepted me, and I attended the last one.
Did it cost you anything?
Well, I mean, it costs. Yeah, I mean, it costs for admission, and it costs transportation, travel, and all that.
And all extraneous expenditures, like you said, traveling, food, the normal stuff.
If I could add to this, as I'm stepped away for a second, Mike, just really quick on this one. If they're giving priority access to anyone who's a member to go ahead and actually sign up for this before the general public has the opportunity to sign up for it, I'm going to have to say it sounds like that the general public is going to have a hard time getting in if all the members get their acts of, or paying on a monthly or yearly amount, actually, if you want to call it, get the invitations before the general public. So it sounds like if you want to go to future Soul symposiums, you have to pay up front.
Yeah, it seems like this pay-per-view event. You have to pony up the money to have access. Well, Tom was invited. They accepted him, as they should have. And, he had to cover the expenses to get in, but he didn't have to pay these membership fees. Is that right, Tom?
Yeah, the membership fees, from what I can tell, are new. I didn't see any of that until this week.
Right. What are your thoughts on that? Because I've been pretty clear about my thoughts on it. Nothing good, Tom.
I only have one thing to say.
What's that?
Gary Nolan is a brilliant man.
No argument there. This is not a shot against Gary. We're just pointing out certain aspects of the Soul Foundation and what they're putting out there for the public. It's not a good thing when they are charging for any of this information. It's supposed to be free. When they started this organization, they were talking about moving needle on disclosure, bringing things out publicly for truth and transparency. But if they're putting a price tag on that, I believe, my personal opinion is, that's a credibility killer for the audience. The audience has a right to know, as Lou Elizondo has pointed out, but not for a price tag. Disclosure is a right to know, but not that you would have to pay for it. That's always been Thomas and mine, our position on this. This is not something that you should be charged for.
Oh,
obviously.
But back in the day, Mike, you got to remember that even places like UFON, and they were going ahead and they had access to all the data on their website, but then they changed it where unless you were a monthly person going ahead and funding them, they locked away all their data. So the pay-per-play thing that's going on right now seems to be what's happening with the prices of everything going up. Unfortunately, I wish it was different, but let's hope it doesn't get to the point like it's getting with video cards or video game consoles. When they come out, there's a suggested retail price of $5.99, but if you want to get one, you're paying 25% over that, $250 more, just to get your hands on it because there's such a demand. I wonder if hopefully they don't get to demand pricing on this stuff.
It would depend on what they're actually offering for the money and if people are willing to pay for it. And with the cost of everything going up and people's incomes staying flat, I don't see a lot of disposable income out there that people would be looking to send in the direction of Soul or MUFON or any other organization for that matter. Not about disclosure.
Yeah.
Disclosure should be free. Truth and transparency should be free. We shouldn't have to pay for it. Certainly not $25,000. That's my take on it.
Well, even $350 a year for a lot of people these days is a lot of money.
Right. See, the price that you and I pay for the access that we already have is the right price that I think everybody should be entitled to have to pay, which is nothing.
Yeah.
And then we relay that information out to the audience publicly. So we do our part, but they shouldn't be charging for it.
We try to.
We do our best. Yeah, we try. They should not be charging for it. That's my point. And it's not going to change. It's just not. It's just this doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. And anybody that is going to try to push back against this, it's giving them plenty of ammunition to do that.
Yeah, and there's a good question from Dana Scully in the audience. What are they doing with that money? That's a damn good question. We don't know.
It's a question that they're not making public, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Right. So this is just another aspect of disclosure that is not desirable for the public.
I know. We wish it was different, but it's the truth and the reality of what we're dealing with right now.
It is, and it's unfortunate, and we're not happy about it. As you know, we do a really piss poor job of hiding that fact, but you know, but that's the truth. Like you said.
Kathy says it sounds like a Star Wars convention. No, it sounds more like not even just a Star Wars convention. Sounds like Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, Comic-Con is expensive. That's not cheap either.
Nothing. Everything's expensive these days. Everything. Can't get around it.
Oh, I know. No, I know. But if you have pets and you have a family, you know exactly how expensive everything is. It's not cheap.
Oh yeah. Just to walk in the door at the vet, it feels like it's $200 before they even see you.
And then they charge you for whatever medication that you want. That's true.
Oh, no. Then they charge you for the doctor and this and that and the up fees for everything. It's just, and the sad part about talking about vets, aside from that, we're a pet family here. We've got 3 dogs and everything. All the local vets have been bought out by a corporation around here, Mike. And before, if you had something go wrong with your dog or your cat, you needed to take it into the vet now for an emergency. Oh, no. The vets locally won't see you on a short basis like that. They want you to go to their emergency clinic.
Which charges the same as if it was a person going in
No,
for emergency
more.
services.
More.
I don't know. The price of an emergency room visit is not cheap for us.
Yeah.
I can only imagine for the pets. It's,
You know,
Yeah,
and I've been going to
so-
this vet forever, and unfortunately, Dr. Brent Johnson, who used to be in charge of Northwest Animal Care, sold off to a corporation, and it's just sad to see the changes that have come through. I guess he did work a long time, but that we had that one, we had Pet Care Hospital, another local one that actually sold out. Sad, but it shows what it means. There's profit to be made.
oh, well, you could make a business model for just about anything out there.
Yeah, whether
If
it's
that's what you choose
disclosure
to do.
or pets, they're charging for it,
Right.
my friend.
Yeah, oh, they are.
Andy W., your
Absolutely.
hand is up.
Yeah, I'm going to this Soul Foundation, where they're charging the fees. I can understand charging a fee of a certain amount, but yeah, $25,000. I'm sure there are people out there who've got that money to just throw away. Now, if they have, you can throw it in my direction. I'll probably make far more use of it than the Soul Foundation could.
Oh God,
But
yeah.
I just where does the thought on your what are we going to charge people? Let's just throw some numbers out and see. It's like fishing. You cast a line out. You got your $350 lure, and then you got your $25,000 lure. It's just who's going to bite. Some people have got money out there to bite like that.
And here's the thing, they've changed everything now to a subscription model. Even the vets around here right now, they basically say, go ahead and pay us so much dollars a month from now until your pet passes, or just pay this exorbitant amount every single time you come into the office. And not just that, they also want to go ahead and do that with Chuck E. Cheese's. For going and taking your kids a little amusement place and everything, they want you to pay up front for the monthly plan, don't they, Mike?
Yeah, they do. It's a subscription model now. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you from my experience of vets over here in the UK, I actually did a work experience when I was at school in the vets, and vets here in the UK were ridiculously expensive. Even back then, I'm talking close to 40 years ago now. So yeah, they've always, if you've got pets, it's another way to screw the money out of you.
Yeah, speaking about pets,
everything's just taking money now. It's just
really quick news for people in the United States who want to give their pets full coverage for fleas, ticks, and heartworm. If you want to get like Revolution for the dogs, it's like $250 for a 3-month supply. But Mike was telling me you can get this stuff for Canada for like what, a quarter of the price, Mike? A third of the price?
$30 for 3 doses that you could order monthly, and they deliver to the United States.
$30 versus, oh my God.
No prescription necessary, no vet visit necessary to order the medication that you would need to treat your pets.
Yeah. And see,
So,
people
yeah,
do that.
there's-
They treat their pets because they see their pets like it's their children.
Right. That's right. We take care of our children when
commodity.
they're sick at home. Same thing with our pets.
Yeah. We do. Mike?
Then we can go down the rabbit hole, me talking to somebody from the UK. Okay, our NHS isn't brilliant, but they've done me a really good favor recently, and it makes me weep for you guys over there having to pay what you have to pay for your medication and care. Really does.
Now, did I hear it right in the last couple of days that they want to shut down the NHS?
Yeah, it's basically taking it back under so-called, under the government rather than actually farming out to middle management. And yeah,
You know, it always
really know
goes
how
well.
that's gonna go.
Yeah, I just saw the new person who's in charge of schools for the UK. You guys are fucked.
Yes.
Sounds like bollocks to me, Andy.
Oh, and then some.
I wish and I hope it was.
Yeah.
Or is.
Oh, it does.
We shall see.
Oh, yeah, we'll see where it goes. Michael Sokoloff, what say you?
Yeah, Mike, what percentage of UFO conventions would you say give you a nothing burger that you're paying for?
100%, Michael.
But they do give you a lot of good entertainment value.
Yes, they do.
So you're paying, it's like going to a Vegas in a casino. You're going there with the money, knowing this is what you're going to put out and what you're willing to lose, right? That's your spend. It's not that you're going to put it out there and you know that you're going to win. It's a cost for entertainment. And I think that's kind of
like watching a rerun
with UFOs. Yeah.
Nothing burger. It's a rerun.
It's the same shit. You mean it's the same shit we've heard time and time again, like what's going on right now with all the great people who have like entered into the area of talking about UFOs, like Jesse Michaels and everybody. They're going through the same old people, including old people we've had on recently, Mike.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to Tom.
Whitmore, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, for people like me that have been in this a long time, I'm getting to the point to where if I go to a symposium or a convention, I'm going there to see other people. I'm not actually going to listen to the lectures because it's a way to make new friends, make contacts, and network.
Yeah.
That's actually the smart approach, Tom.
Yeah, it is. It's about the networking opportunities.
Yep.
Unless there's something new, which there usually isn't.
There usually isn't. I would agree with you.
I do recommend. I recommend Dolan's latest book about USOs, underwater objects. I recommend that.
Oh yeah, we had Richard on. I'm sure you saw the interview with him, right? Tom?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So no, he's a nice guy, and he does a lot of great work. And he's been involved in this field as long as you have, so he knows what he's talking about. So I would agree. Everybody should go out and get his book.
But it's the first out of 3 volumes, Mike, and he's just finishing off the 3rd volume. And some of the stuff we talked about in the show when he was on last, he actually reached back out to get the details. So I'm looking forward to seeing that information come forward in his 3rd book.
Right. So we're glad we could help out. That's what we do.
We're all part of the same community, what it comes down to it.
Yeah, but unlike the way it's been lately, we don't charge anybody for that.
No.
It's free, right?
No, but we do have a kitty that's out there if people want to give us donations. They throw it up on stage. We don't have memberships on the show because you know why, Mike? We already open our doors to everybody. Whether they give us super chats or not, they can come on the show. They can come and hang out with us after the show, even before the show for that matter.
That's right. Yeah. And that was my point, Thomas. Yeah. We're not going the pay-per-view event. We're not taking that business model and applying it to the public.
Where it's mandatory, where you pay the money to get in the door.
That's right. We don't do that.
Yeah.
And anybody who does, it doesn't look good. Leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, including mine.
Oh, there we go. We got some money from Daryl Zernick for the kitty. I like to feel like we're kind of strippers up on a stage, Mike. People can throw their dollars up if they like to. Speaking of which, we just got the money from Daryl Zernick in the back.
Well, I mean, listen, at one time, you did expose your rear end to the live audience, so it was kind of like a strip show.
I guess
so
I
we
did.
Appreciate the tips.
I don't remember that, and don't make me remember, please.
Oh, it was fun. We're serious about not being.
Oh my God, almost as great as before the last show we did, and the microphone stopped fucking working. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's okay.
But what happens when you're in pain and you're trying to figure something out and you're on a low from a lack of Adderall?
Yeah,
as you're coming back on to taking Adderall again? Oh my God, I was an asshole. And my asshole wanted to tell me that I was an asshole. And I apologized during the show, after the show. Stuff happens, you know.
But
no,
you know
I
what?
wasn't
It's
going
okay.
commando, Dana. I've got a bad bladder, so that wouldn't be a good idea.
But we keep it real, and listen, you know, we're authentic, we're real, we don't hide anything. What you see is what you get, and you know, we're not like these organizations out there. You come in, you get the truth from us, truth and transparency, and you see what you see is what you get. So no surprises.
Well, we've got the man, the legend, who's not in the back right now to talk about this, John Music, who's off in the chat right now. I don't think we'll get actual disclosure even in my lifetime. And he's younger than me, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
I hope that's not true, John, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We're in there plugging away, trying to see what make things happen, but it's going to go at its own pace, and a lot of it right now, and you and I have talked privately about this, Thomas, has a lot to do with the executive branch currently and what they're going to do moving forward.
It's an executive branch. The game is... Let's ask Tom. Tom Whitmore, would you say that, would you agree with or disagree with that the disclosures run out of the executive branch?
Well, would you repeat that, please?
Would you agree or disagree or go off in a different direction and say that disclosure is dependent or run out of the executive branch?
Yes, absolutely, because they have the information. But the problem is there are so many secrecy laws that protect classified information that it's very difficult for classified information to be disclosed. And usually they only disclose what they think politically helps them. For example, we get into a war and they drop a bomb, you know, on Iraq or something, and they show us a film of that. You know, but if they have a film of the UFO, oh, we can't show that because that would reveal sources and methods. Of course,
or kind of like talking, they've had video feed of over the Black Sea, some of our Reaper drones getting doused by, if you want to call it jet fuel, right? Coming from Russian fighter jets that were up doing that, or coming out of the Straits of Taiwan where you've got a jet or a surveillance plane that's out there, and right along the side going really close to them unsafely is a Chinese fighter, and they'll show you that information the same day that it happened. But it comes time to show you any of the footage, like what they got out of the UFOs that were over Dead Horse, Alaska, over the Yukon in Canada, or over by Maelstrom Air Force Base, and eventually was shot down over Lake Huron. They don't show us anything years later.
Yes, it's a policy of silence, and in my humble opinion, since the 50s, it's been a policy of denial with some deception.
Yeah,
and for whatever reasons. But now, if the president called in, you know, his people, his national security people, and said, "I want to disclose everything," they're going to come in there and, you know, talk them out of it. You know, if history is any guide. Now, they might give him a briefing to satisfy his curiosity, you know, read him into a certain amount. But, you know, we're talking about these unelected bureaucrats out there. And this is the first indication I've ever seen, at least with the Trump administration, that Trump is trying to get his own people in that will do what he wants done, whatever that is. Whereas previous presidents stuck with tradition, and they respect the national security state and all of that, and they're talked into and out of doing whatever the national security state wants.
Yeah, that's all. Great point, Tom. It's just one of those situations we look at. We want to get the truth out. We want to get the information. A lot of, as you were saying, presidents who came in just go along with this bureaucratic state versus trying to get the changes that they want to see. And it's refreshing to see, a fight for it. But even when Obama got into office years ago, he actually set Joe Biden down the same path that Elon Musk is to go ahead and get rid of this waste, abuse, and fraud that's going on in the government. So it's nothing new, but it's this time when it's coming in, it seems like it's demonized.
Well, nobody wants to get fired. And I'm a little bit surprised that even with a private sector guy like Elon Musk would take, go get on stage and run around with a chainsaw. I mean, I think that gives the wrong message, personally. But, obviously cuts need to be made and changes need to be made. And I think pretty badly. And I think that maybe some people are finally coming around to, if you're spending $100 million on some, foreign project, whatever that is, and some of it, at least on the face of it, has sounded completely ridiculous. Take that $100 million and pay teachers more money. Go into a state and pay teachers more money. Spend it here in the United States. And I think more people are coming around to that.
In other words, take the money out of the DOE and send it down to the states and let them go ahead and make the decisions and let them go ahead and put the money into where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I and I've said this, I want disclosure as much as anybody. And I've been doing this for 30 years. And when I first got into this and I became convinced that it really was a really true issue, I felt like, oh, they've got to disclose this, they've got to tell the public. And here 30 years later, we're at where we're at. And there's been tremendous progress compared to where things were at, say, 10 or 15 years ago, when there was a complete news blackout on, in the major media, like the New York Times and all that.
Yeah. Let's hope we can get past all those days. Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with Tom. He's right about the points that he's making. But since we've been talking about this, I just sent you another DM. It seems like the Soul Foundation has been getting pushback, and they just put out a public statement that addresses it. I think you should read it for our audience. It's interesting.
I'm waiting for X-Men. Give me a time. It's running really slow right now.
I wonder if X is getting attacked again. Well, Elon said that they're constantly under attack.
Yeah, they are. No, I've just found that X messages above and by far has been getting slower and slower. All right, so this came from you and also potentially from, okay, Mr. Grimlock, lots of distraction. We only got a couple of super chats. Man, let's get into this. Did you send me? Okay, right. New exclusive. No. Did you send me a message on this, Mike?
A DM on X.
It didn't show up.
It didn't.
No, it didn't.
Okay, you want me to text it to you? I could do that.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, I just sent it. Soul Foundation.
Not here. Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Copy. Let me get to
the statement. Yeah.
Amazing. It almost feels like they're responding to us, Mike.
I know. That's the thought I had when I read it.
But they've been writing this for a while, so let's get into this.
Yeah.
All right, let's find this document. Guest. Let's get into the. No, not that one. Guest. Here we go. All right, so let me make this a little bit larger for Leo to read. Come on, you son of a gun. I want to get the things off to the side. All right. We'd like to say a word about Soul's mission and work. We've read your comments, and we hear you about our fundraising approach. Soul is committed to understanding UAP and their implications for humanity through research, the strategic use of AI, and policy and advocacy. Policy and advocacy is new.
Mm-hmm.
We also do our best to serve you through our public education efforts, which include our symposium videos we make available for free to everyone on YouTube. Okay. Let's get into this. We did get some super chats in, Mike, I need to bring up and mention really quick. We got one from Mr. Grimlock saying lots of distraction these days. Planes, tariffs, mermaid buffets, and so much obfuscation. You don't need all this noise unless you are P.T. Barnum. You mean Jeremy Corbell. Desperate to mislead. We are close. Okay, into this. Okay, so we understand, however, that our membership program might feel exclusive because not everyone can afford it. We wish that we didn't need to fundraise, but we do. And we do so with the intention of sharing knowledge, creating greater acceptance of the phenomenon, which we care about deeply. We are grateful to be a highly visible organization, but we're still new and finding our way. So we are, refresh this, pop this. Okay. But we're still new and finding our way. So we are taking your thoughts and our comments to heart, and we're committed to finding ways to make our work accessible to everyone as we go forward. With gratitude, Maura Johnson, Peter, and Gary. Maura, Jonathan, Peter, and Gary. How about that? And look at that, Mike. They've limited this to only the people accounts that they mention can respond. It seems to me like they are afraid of what the public will say about this. Why else would they limit it?
They're getting a lot of pushback. It's not just us that are really complaining about this. Everybody else is not happy.
Yeah.
It's a general consensus, and they don't want to hear it.
But what do they need? But still, they don't say what they need the money for, Mike.
Or what they'll do with the money if they get it. No, they're not. No.
We wish we didn't need to fundraise, but we do. So why do you need to fundraise, and what do you need to do with it? Exactly.
Right. Plus, Peter Skafish is independently well off. He's in finance. And they also have benefactors who are very well off and who are donating, which is why they stood the organization up. It was supposed to be scientifically oriented. Why would they change that business model now? It's suspicious, to say the least.
It seems to be, Mike. It seems to be.
It does. And they had to make this statement because they've been getting a lot of pushback.
And they had to make the statement, but also make it in a way that no one in the community had the opportunity to respond to it.
Right. Because they know what the responses would be already. They can read, and they don't want to address it.
Mike, I have to say, reading this makes me feel dirty.
Yep. I'm with you on that. That's the points we've been making to the audience. Because you and I are well aware of all of this. It's a shit show. And it's not the direction that it should be going in. It's a credibility killer for them to take this approach. It's plain and simple.
So rather than just saying, we need to do it, say why. Our costs. You know, here's the thing. When they were doing all the video editing on the first round of videos, and it took them forever to get there, there were countless people who all raised their hands saying they would do it for free.
Right. I remember
donate their time to the organization.
They did. That's right. So what costs are they talking about then? Not those, not the production costs, not the editing costs. They had volunteers for that. But they're not specifying what the cost is for.
No, of course not.
It might have something to do with the people who are in the organization are not getting paid. And the only way they could get paid or draw a salary is if money was to come in. I mean, that makes sense. Not sense for the public. They don't want to be involved with that. And that's not originally what this organization was set up to do. But here we are. This is where it is today. Not a good sign. And that's the point that we've been making to our audience.
Why should the disclosure of another species on this planet that's more intelligent than us and bringing out that information be required for people to pay a monthly fee or a yearly fee for that? But then again, Mike, we have to look at it from the entertainment value.
Yeah, this is not a good sign, Thomas. And we jokingly refer to it as entertainment. But is there any actual entertainment coming out of the Soul Foundation? I think not. It really isn't. And the harder that people start to look at everything going on in this community with these key members of the community, and now they all seem to be looking to put their hands in everybody's pocket, it's not a good look, which is why they had to come up with a statement like this.
But here's the
I don't think
thing.
this statement's going to make it any better.
Richard Dolan was an intelligent disclosure community, which is very large. A lot of very important people are there. He only charges $9 a month or $99 annually.
Which is a reasonable price for the information that he researches.
Yeah.
I know. I agree. Again, this is not a good look, and I don't think this statement.
But
that they put out
his
is
memberships
gonna fix it.
provide access to extensive courseware and curriculum designed to help people understand the relationship with money, wealth, and worth. So, he's got over 100 hours of content aimed at achieving financial freedom and living by design. So he does give people value for your money for what they sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
Good for Richard Dolan.
Oh, very good for him.
Yeah.
We like him, and he does good work, and he's not looking to take advantage of everybody with the bullshit like this.
$8.99 a month for $9 a month versus $35 a month.
Mm-hmm. But you actually get something from Richard. I don't really see what Soul is offering anybody other than a hoodie.
No, actually, for the hoodie is the next tier up. You only get a T-shirt.
Oh, a T-shirt. That's great. They're very valuable. I'm being sarcastic in case anybody missed that.
We both are, my friend. We both are. It's
Right.
just one of those situations we look at the details, what's going on, and we just have to call it out because it's part of the community we're all a part of.
It is, and it's also something that we are advocates that needs to be disclosed to the human race without a price tag. So it's supposed to be free. It's supposed to be about truth and transparency. It's not supposed to be about a bill every month and having to lay it out of your own pocket.
Yeah. Wait. We haven't covered everything here today, Mike. Maybe we'll have to save this for tomorrow. I think so.
Maybe. Probably a good idea.
We're already 11 minutes into overtime at this
point. I know we are. Yes, sir.
Tomorrow we get to talk about, Jake Barber in episode.
Oh, fuck no.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to bring out the picture of Susan Goff. Don't worry.
If we're going to talk about Jake, then if you remember earlier today, I was telling you that somebody hasn't been on the show in a while, has some useful information on the subject. Maybe we should find out if he can make an appearance for tomorrow, and we could all talk about this together.
You mean Rick?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You have to call him, my friend, see where we can get this to go.
Yeah, I think he would have some valuable insight on this subject, like we've discussed.
This episode 2 is getting ready to come out, my friends, and boy, has it been piled on high and deep. They deserve a PhD.
Oh, they definitely do. But I think we could shed some light on all of this.
We will tomorrow.
He's available.
Oh, we
We'll
hope
see.
so.
I don't know if he's in his cabin or if he's at Gaia. I don't know what he's up to.
Or he's up on the mountain in New Mexico. You never know.
No, that's true. I'd like to have him come on. I know the information that he has about this. It's very good. I'll see. We'll see if we could have something more to talk about for tomorrow.
Yeah.
If we do, it should be interesting.
I would hope so, my friend. I would hope so. On that note, Mike, what a great show. What a great opportunity to hang out with friends.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go ahead and thank everybody.
To have Tom join us.
Oh gosh, yes. It's been a long time, my friend. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for your wonderful super chats today. Who the heck am I talking about? I want to thank, oh gosh. Why is this screwing up on me here? I want to thank Wright Cleek, Mr. Grimlock, Brian Pemble, Mike Campbell, Lord McCormick, Daryl, Geraldine Durazio. See, we're doing some good work here, Mike. Phantomus Fanto, Amiga Rules, Phantomus Fanto again, Charles Kerr, Ashes on Air, Anne Marie, and we had one super chat before this. I welcomed you before the show, but I lost it because, well, that's just how it works sometimes. I didn't have the chat set up ahead of time, and for some reason, there's no... Google used to give me the opportunity to go ahead and bring up fan funding, but it's not letting me do that today. But I want to thank everybody for your wonderful support of everything we do here at Disclosure tonight. More importantly, my friend Mike, I want to go ahead and thank everybody in our audience who has been out with us today. Who am I talking about? Let me bring up a list of our participants in the chat. I want to thank Amiga Rules, Andy W., Anne Marie, Brian Pemble, Charles Kerr, CT Whale, and Dana Scully. I also want to thank Digger Dog, Diva Kim, Eli McGinnis, Evan B., Firefly, Geraldine Durazio, Ghost Fixer, Gray Jedi, Gringo Suave, and Howling Husky. I also want to thank Jan and J-Cat and John McLean and Kathy and Caitlin and Kelly Broad and those piercing blue dem eyes. Also want to thank Laura 11, Megan Betts, Mick, Nancy Kuzmano, Peggy and her South Florida friends. That would include Crockett and Tubbs and Steve. Big hubs for all four of you, my friend. Roland and Rough Reddy and Sam, a Scowling Wolf, and the G5 studio has been here, along with True Seeker and two midgets on an elephant. No, on a horse, but anyway. Let's thank Uber Holder and When Weebs React. What a great audience, my friends. More importantly, why is it so quiet? There we go. I also want to go ahead and thank our friends in the chat who have been with us today. Alice W., thanks for coming out. Thanks for your questions today. Andy W., thanks for coming out.
You're welcome, Thomas.
Thanks a lot, Thomas. Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Thomas. Good to be able to actually make it tonight. I'll see you tomorrow at some point.
Absolutely. Brian Pemble, thanks for the super chat and your participation tonight.
Hey, absolutely. Great show.
Absolutely. Let's go on, move on down the list to Daryl Zernick from our Mr. Hoosier friend.
Thanks, Thomas. Great show as always.
Yes, and Ed Brown, our resident reclinologist. Appreciate you coming out.
Well, I'm going to agree with everyone else. It's been a great show, Thomas and Mike. You know, there's membership programs. The one I want to join is Galaxy Quest when they start one of those.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Pay a lot of money to get a signed autograph by Jason Nesmith.
There you go, my friend. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Let's move on to Nick. Thanks for your question tonight, Nick. Moving on to Sergeant Daniel, USMC. Appreciate you coming out.
Great, thank you. And then when you get down about disclosure, just remember Rosie O'Donnell left the country.
Yeah, I think that's where. Yeah, and then last but not least, let's thank Tom Whitmore. Thanks for coming out, my friend. We miss you. We appreciate you coming out, my friend. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Thomas. It's good to see you. Good to see you, Mike Disclosure, and everybody else in the panel. It's good to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful. Absolutely. Mike, my friend, thank you for coming out. It was wonderful having you together tonight.
Oh, it was a great conversation. It was another great show. It was a lot of fun, my friend, and I appreciate you doing and putting everything together so that we can do our job and advise the audience of what to pay attention to and what to hopefully steer clear
And
of.
Mike, for everybody on the audience, we want to deliver you a great fuck you for Friday.
Absolutely, my friend.
Yeah, and more importantly,
100%.
as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everyone, but... Oh, come on. Let's try this again.
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, everybody. Y'all come back now here. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.